Pisces, hi. So this is going to be a reading for mid-May 2026. And I'll do the reading for you and then I'll close it off with a oracle card. And these are general readings, so they may not resonate for all of you. If they do, there is an extended. At the end of the video, you can check out the link for that in the description box below if you want. Let's see, Pisces. The overall energy for the reading, the Hermit. Okay. I mean, I think you're trying to kind of keep steady, keep cool, keep inward as much as possible because there's a lot of stuff going on. So I feel like this is you just trying to kind of keep it close to home there and keep steady as much as possible. Starting off the reading, you get the Eight of Pentacles crossed by the King of Cups. Yeah, you're focused on whatever it is that is working out. That's where your effort goes. That's where your heart goes. That's where your energy goes on something that you're dealing with and it's working out and you're like, okay, I'm good focusing on this. In your focus, the Six of Pentacles, yeah, something is working out for sure. But in the recent past, you get the Ten of Swords. That's where something didn't work out. So I feel like whatever happened there is still kind of pursuing you, you know, as an energy. But again, I feel like you're still trying to shift your energy towards things that are, you know, kind of feel like there's a bounce to those things instead of just dealing with the pressing energies of whatever happened there. However, in your Strength, the Tower, it's still getting to you though. But I feel like you're managing to balance it all out. I don't know what the hell happened. Because you know what? On the surface, it doesn't look like a big deal. It looks like, okay, something happened where something might have come out of your life at some point. Like there's an energy of I'm done with this. But the energy of that, I see it still kind of creeping in. And it's not the greatest energy. But as you're trying to focus on things that are working out, I feel like you're balancing it all out where you don't get to feel much of that pressing energy, you know, so it all plays out okay as long as you focus on things that are working out. In the immediate future, the Four of Cups, you seem to be upset about something there. Supporting this reading, the Three of Cups, yeah, something that at some point did work out and then it didn't. I'm not sure where you're at with that situation. Like, is it closed off? Are you done there? Or are you still kind of keeping a door open to that? I get the sense of a door open. Or at least cracked open. I don't know. The energy that surrounds you, and you may not be aware of it, the Four of Pentacles. You're having a hard time letting go of something here. In your, yeah, there you go. In your hopes and fears, the Wheel of Fortune. I think there's a desire for things to turn back around, you know, especially tied up to what just happened there. But I think all you can do at this moment is just kind of keep going and work on the best version of yourself, and that's why you're focusing on that. For the potential outcome, the Four of Swords. Yeah, I think you're taking some time for you. I think you're doing the right steps here. You're making the right steps here. But let's clarify. Let's do the Hermit. The Ace of Swords, the Moon, the Ace of Pentacles. That's an interesting one because it almost feels like, oh man, that's super interesting. How the fuck do I explain this one? So there's a brand new beginning type of an energy, right? That is playing out. That's available for you. That is playing out for you. It runs parallel with how you would perceive this brand new beginning. So it's something that you're doing right now that brings about an energy of, oh, I feel like this is a new beginning for me or something. And it is that. It's just not exactly how you envision it at this moment in time. It's similar to how you envision it. Or like if you start, let's say, a sculpture, right? You're starting to I don't fucking know sculptures, but you're starting to shape it into, you know, you have a vision for it. You know how it's going to look at the end of it. Well, you finish it at the end, it's not looking like you envisioned it. You know what I mean? So that's kind of how this energy plays out. Like as you start this new beginning, you might envision it as something where in fact it's something else. It's probably not better or worse. It's probably best suited to where you need to be. You know what I mean? So you're not seeing it for what it is quite yet. But that's okay. You're still on a new path here. So that's what matters for now. Okay. Let's do the Eight of Pentacles. For the Eight of Pentacles, you get the Two of Swords, the Five of Wands, the Queen of Swords. Oh, that's what you want to work on. Whatever the hell crumbled. Okay. So something came down. Like imagine, I don't know, a house after a tornado, right? And it's a mess. And this is you trying to pick up the pieces and put them back together. So maybe it all has to do with this. Where your intention is, hey, let's work on it. Let's put it back up, you know? For the King of Cups, you get the Two of Cups, the Strength card, the King of Pentacles. You might have assistance from the other side, because that would have been my next question. Like, okay, you're working on it. Are they? Apparently, there is assistance here. It's not 100% clear if it's here or if it's here-ish. You know, like, are they really here or are they here but not as committed as you are to this process of putting it back together? Maybe by the time you put up like 20 bricks, they picked up one, you know? So I don't know. They seem to be willing and capable, but the Strength card is there. So it almost feels like it's feeling a little difficult for them. Let me do the Six of Pentacles in your focus. The Hierophant, the Five of Swords, the Seven of Cups. I don't think you're convinced that you're on the same page here with whoever. So you're kind of split here. You're split into two energies. One, should I stay here and trust that this is going to pick up and we're both on the same page and we're shooting for the same thing? Like, do we put this back together? Or there's the other option of just dropping it all and counting my losses, going and building a house someplace else altogether. You know? So you're kind of right there at that edge. In your intention, I can see what you're shooting for, because it's showing up all over the reading, and that is for things to work out. But like, I think you're also aware that it won't unless the both of you are, you know, actively participating on this. For the Ten of Swords, you get the Knight of Swords, the Page of Swords, the Ten of Swords. Yeah, it's just, I don't know what happened, but one of you has lost interest, or I see the energy deflating, basically. So as much as someone was engaged there, their energy has dropped significantly to the point of they just didn't invest in this anymore. So that could have been you, that could have been them, that could have been the both of you. And the foundation had no foundation to it anymore. So it started crumbling. So this is potentially a realization on your part, on their part, on both your parts, that, hey, what the hell are we doing here? Are we going to let all of this crumble to the ground? Or are we going to start picking it back up and, you know, restoring here? And I feel like you're in the negotiation terms, even though, I don't know, it's, for the Tower in your Strength, you get the Nine of Pentacles, the Five of Pentacles, the Three of Pentacles. That's the thing. I think it's not even the foundation, because the foundation, you can take it as, okay, it went down and I have choices from there. I can start trying to put it back up or I can leave, right? That's the foundation part. I think it's the reliability. Like, can I count on you though? Like, if we start to work on this, can I count on you that you'll be here all the way through? Or not? You know, I think the trust has been lost, that you have someone to work with here. As far as the I got your back, you got mine type of concept, I think that's been damaged the most here. You know, the trust is lacking. That's what happened, ultimately. It's, okay, the foundation, as I said, is the foundation. You can either decide to restore it or walk away from it. But, like, if there's no team to work with on it, What are you gonna do? Yeah, you can rebuild it yourself, but like it's a foundation based off of you and another energy. So why would you? You know, for the Four of Cups, in the immediate future, you get the Nine of Cups, the Hermit, the Seven of Pentacles. You're upset here. I think you're a little bit nostalgic. I think you have started a process of rebuilding, but I'm not sure if it's going through. I think you're probably at a standstill. Like, okay, maybe you picked up together, let's say 20 bricks and put it there, and now you're on a lunch break. But like a very long lunch break or something. Because you look a little nostalgic. You look a little like looking back, and that's it. Okay, we built up to 20 bricks, or we rebuild up to 20 bricks, and that's it. And then it stopped, you know? So, let me do the Three of Cups. In your supportive energies, you get the Emperor, the Knight of Cups, the Eight of Cups. Yeah, I don't think you can trust necessarily that you're lacking trust completely in the other side. You or them, one of you, is completely out of trust when it comes to, can I rely on you? You know, and I don't even think that it matters what the other party responds. Whether or not they can, they're saying yes or no. The trust comes from you. It's been lost from within you, not from their answer to that question. You know what I mean? So I think there's a lack of trust in the other energy, that they can rely on them, that this can be sustainable. Let's do the Four of Pentacles in the hidden energies. You get the Five of Cups, the Four of Swords, the Ace of Cups. Too much damage, too much damage. You're having a really hard time letting go of the history of this, the crumbling part. Too much damage has been done in the sense of how you're hanging on to that and having a hard time letting go of it. You're trying, because you know that you can't have something restored and a brand new beginning to something if you're bringing the past to it. You're basically recreating the past, so you know that can't be done. They can't go together. Either you let that shit go and you start from scratch, neutral ground there, you know, we'll take it from nothing. Or if you're hanging on to whatever that was that happened, you can never have something fresh here, something brand new. So, again, you seem to be having a hard time letting that shit go, even though you want to, because you understand that they can't work together. Restoring something from brand new energies while you hang on to the old energies. For the Wheel of Fortune, in your hopes and fears, you get the Hangman, the Judgment card, the Lovers. You're presenting all of this as a big decision, you know, an almost life course changing decision. Whatever you decide for the situation ultimately. Like, when I make up my mind over what I want to do here, it's definitely going to change my life altogether. So it's a big one. It's a big one. I feel like you haven't figured it out yet. I kind of think that you do have the answer somewhere in there, though. But you haven't dug your way through it yet, or to it yet, but it's a process of trying to figure out what your next steps are. For the Four of Swords in the potential outcome, you get the Seven of Pentacles, the Ten of Pentacles, the Ace of Wands. Okay, this is a time in which you definitely decide. You give yourself a little bit of time, and you pick yourself up, and you start moving forward. What your decision is then, I don't know, but it definitely comes in with a decision. Is it with or without them? I don't know. But you would know when you get there. So I don't need to know what it is. Because you come in with such clarity, I just see your energy picking up and starting to move forward from this, from all of this. So you definitely have a decision made if you're starting to move forward. Now, whether you're picking them up with you or not, in the sense of, okay, I decide to trust them and we're going to work on this, or not, you're going to know when you're in that position right there. Right now, you don't have the answer. Well, you do, but you don't. Okay, so let's see what the universe has as a final advice for you. The Nine of Swords, the Ten of Pentacles, the Ace of Swords. Yeah, right now you're trying to figure out. Yeah, like what are my next steps here? What you know, when I start moving, where do I go? What do I do? So right now you're in the process of figuring it out, and you're a little too much up here. That's why you're not there yet. But once this kind of goes away and you give yourself a little bit of space and time and, you know, just sitting with it truly, you'll know. You'll know what the next steps are. Let's do Alice the Wonderland Oracle. Ooh, look at you. Forget who you are. Conditioning falls away. Memory no longer defines you. Okay. You are amidst a new experience, one in which you have no idea who you are anymore. Paradoxically, this apparent loss of self is a beautiful gift. The loss of memory of the self, the absence of the conditioning that defines us, means we can approach new people and situations with an innocence and freshness. This is an opportunity to connect from the heart. So it is with Alice when she enters a looking-glass forest with magical powers. All who enter forget who they are. Thus, not knowing he ought to be frightened of a human, a fawn approaches Alice. She responds with an incredible fondness for the fawn, and they meet in simple affection, connection, and friendship. When we forget what we have been taught to fear or hate, it brings the opportunity for a whole series of beautiful relationships to blossom. This is a situation you find yourself in now. Forget what you tell yourself you are. Forget what others have said you ought to be. Forget the enmity, the avoidance, the fear we live with far too often. Forget who you have been taught to be. Instead, reawaken the innocence of the soul. Unknow yourself. Unknow thyself. Accept the mystery of you. Within that open space, within that forest where we are all returned to our ancient, most natural self, we can all be one again. Divination. You are discovering what can happen when you rely less on conditioning, memory, and civilization, and more on heart, receptivity, and nature. New friendships, connections, gentleness, and joy will be yours. Aww. Anyways, that's what I have for you. Hope this helped, and I'll see you next time. Bye.